Hello, what's happening? William Johnson here. This is another percussion tutorial. I've been going over cajon in popular styles of music play within church, and mostly within like classic rock or pop rock genre style structure. This groove that I'm going to go over is another popular groove, and I'm going to explain what I'm playing, but I'm also going to go over some variations that are played within this groove or this style of music. Eventually we'll get into some more contemporary gospel and what have you. So if you're watching this way off a year or months from the time that this video is published, and I probably have already gotten into that, you can check the playlist, my cajon, how to play cajon playlist here on the channel, to check out other cajon videos. So let me play a little bit of this groove and then explain what I'm doing, and then talk about a couple variations that you can use for this particular style of playing. All right, now that was very basic. It was a very basic version. I didn't add any ghost notes. Obviously you don't see me playing with a shaker or a brush or anything. You could spice it up by adding some ghost notes, taking out various notes here or there, making some variations, using different levels of dynamics. You can exaggerate it a little bit, the dynamics, to create some tension there. So there's a lot of things you can do to quote unquote spice up the rhythm. Now, there's also some other influences. Even though we're talking about rock, if we talk about the foundation here of rock music even, and where this groove starts becoming more and more popular, there's some hip hop, there are some other influences that are definitely driving this groove. But let me play the same groove again, and this time add a little bit of variation and some ghost notes, and kind of switch it up a little bit, not really changing the rhythm, just kind of giving it more character, if you will, or a different character. All right, now I was just making stuff up as I went, but basically I was just adding variation within the groove, some variations within the groove, and taking some poetic license, if you will. Just, if I was in a band situation and I was going off of what someone else did in the band, they might play something, and then, or someone might sing a certain way, and then that might cause me to do something that is seemingly unexpected, but really it's just adding some improvisation or whatever I feel is, not necessary, but might be nice for that particular moment, especially in a live setting. So what is actually happening in this groove? Well, the bass of the groove is obviously the first thing I did. That's the bass of the groove. If I were to sing it, it's boom, ba-da, boom, boom, da. That's the groove. Doom, do-da, doom, doom, da. So let's break it down. The first note is a bass note, and the second note is also a bass note. Okay? And the second note is a little bit faster, so it's boom, 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 and it's got to be, it's a 16th note, so it's pretty quick compared to that first note, because it's boom, boom, got, boom, boom, got. So it's sandwiched in between those 3 notes. That second bass note sandwiched in between there. And it's a little softer, almost like a ghost note. So that third, where now after that second bass note is coming the snare. The snare is coming and it's a little bit louder, so it gets accented, right? So that second bass note is almost like a lead-in. 1 E and duh. 1 E and 1 E and all right? And then the third note is on beat number 2. We're in 4/4 here. 1 E and 2. All right? Boom. So it's good if this rhythm is a little more advanced for you. If this rhythm you find yourself tripping up over it, then it's good to just practice those first 3 notes over and over till you get the right feel. Boom, tap, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Making sure that that snare lands on 2. Boom, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2. Sing that with me. 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2. So that first one, take your time, 1. Just like you're playing 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a little slower. 1 E and 2. So boom, bop, boom. Okay? All right? Then you're going to play on the next beat after that is going to be, you can either play right after, all right, and that's going to be on the and of 2. 1 E and 2 E and okay, 1, 2 and. It's another 16th note. All right, boom, boom, tap, boom, 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 tap, boom. 1 E and 2 E and all right. Then you're going to play on the and of 3. So not playing right on 3. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 1 E and 2. Sorry, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Okay? And then the last note is on beat 4 on the snare. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. So all together is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now sometimes I didn't play that bass note after the 2, after the snare. Now here's another thing, a variation. Here's a couple variations on this theme. One of the biggest variations that I enjoy and I think is pretty funky is instead of playing that bass note, you can add another snare. But if you keep doing that over and over, it starts sounding really redundant. It almost sounds like too mechanical. This just to me, my own sensibilities. So it's nice to have that, variation back and forth. For instance, instead of going on the bass all the time, I'll switch it up and go back and forth and play instead of the bass, play the snare. Okay, now you can also play with that other hand. Or leave that bass note after the snare on 2. Instead, don't play the bass or snare. Don't play any of it. Okay, so those are 2 variations. Either not playing anything at all after that first snare, or playing a snare instead of the bass. So you could just add these different variations and creating something new or fresh with the groove. When you add those variations off of the theme, it makes the rhythm sound not fuller necessarily. Well, I guess fuller is a good word. It just sounds like the character. Think of the actual groove as the character. And to create more depth to the character, we add variations, including other things like dynamics, of course, right? So anyhow, that's just another groove basically that you can use. A song that uses this groove, and you can hear it prominently in the mix, I believe it's also played on a cajon, is on the album by Jeremy Camp. It's Live Unplugged. So check out Jeremy Camp Live Unplugged. I can't remember the name of the song. I'm going to link it down below. And listen to that and you'll hear that groove. It's a great album to listen to because the drummer is actually using the different grooves that are prominent, that are typical in this style of music, and you can hear it well placed in the mix. And you can hear the tone and how it might sound a little different than the drum set, but it totally sounds like a drum set. It's a nice acoustic vibe going on there, and you can listen to it over and over, sing it as you hear it played. That's one of the ways that I learn these different grooves, and play it, sing it over and over, and then try to play it and record yourself and watch it back. Listen to the recording, watch the recording of yourself. See, does it sound like the recording, right? Play to the recording. Then watch yourself playing to the recording. Use your phone, use a video camera, have someone else record you. Use a tape recorder. Use just the recording of audio, but listen and see if you're lining up with what the drummer's doing. Try to play the groove by yourself without anything playing. Then listen to the recording. Does your groove sound like what you hear on the recording? This will help you in a whole lot, not just with this groove, but really any type of playing. It's just putting that work in and checking yourself and what you're doing with the reference. All right. So anyhow, hopefully this lesson has helped you out some. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.